Welcome everybody, Souldin of the Grin Brothers here, and it's time for another episode of Tea Time. Sorry if I sound a bit disheartened here. Today's topic isn't a very jolly one for me. Yeah. We'll get on to that in a sec. As per usual, I'll first introduce my tea. It's a lemongrass and ginger tea, herbal tea. I know I've had this before. It's the last of my pucker packs I got. I obtained like 20 pucker packs of teas, just various teas I could try, which really helped with tea time in all the teas I've been able to try during tea time. However, this is the last one. After this, there's no more. Luckily, I've been bought other tea sets, but this is the last of the pucker ones I had. Well, pucker ones in individual packs. I think I've got some other pucker ones like the Serene Jasmine Green in a big box. But in any case, I'm not sure if I actually had this tea with milk last time. I can't remember off the top of my head. For now, though, it's just going without milk, herbal tea. And if I don't like it as it is, I'll, after I finish recording, just add some milk with it and see about it then. In any case, today's topic is centering around a recent bit of news. Not sure when I'll be uploading this tea time. However, I believe it's around the 8th, the 9th. It's, the 8th of March that I've been recording this. So, the recent bit of news that happened on Monday, the day before this day I'm recording. Yeah, okay, I'm probably confusing people here. Basically, a recent bit of news occurred at the time of this recording, which is what has led me to make this tea time. That recent bit of news is that Microsoft has cancelled Fable Legends and that they are considering closing down Lionhead Studios. I say considering closing down because a lot of people have been seemingly misreporting that they closed it down within that exact same time frame, where it actually appears to be the case where Microsoft are considering the future of Lionhead Studios, and whether to close it down along with the cancellation of Fable Legends. I do not believe it has been 100% confirmed that Lionhead Studios has been closed down, unlike some of the other studios of Microsoft Studios, which appear to have definitely been closed down. Of course, there's various sources. A lot of them are saying that it has been closed down already, and others are saying that it's been considered for closing down, and they're in talks about it at the moment. So, with the topic basically mentioned, I'll have the tile up here. It's easy to think of some fancy tile with Fable Legends. Now forever a Fable Legend, the Fable Legend ends, something like that. I'll decide between one of the titles and have it pop up. I guess I should give a bit of background. Well, okay, there's not really much. As for this tea time, it's mostly just going to be a general discussion on Fable, well, from my point. Because aside from just relating the news that for some reason, out of the blue, all of a sudden, Microsoft cancelled Fable Legends and is going to close down Lionhead Studios, or seemingly so. There's not many more details known at this moment. All I know is that Microsoft has closed down a few other studios around this exact same time. They announced this on Monday, and various people have been reporting on it in various sites. There's not much really known at this point in time. I may have like an extra at the end about any extra details that pop up, just in case. So, if this tea time doesn't cover any of these details that are later learned, before I upload this tea time, I'll have like a minute or 2 minutes of sort of gap at the end where text explains it. So keep an eye on the screen when I stop talking, basically. But yeah, my thoughts on the Fable series and Lionhead Studios. Well, that goes back to the original Xbox. I never owned the original Xbox, but I have experienced it. I had a friend who lived pretty far away from me. Well, not pretty far, but more like 12 miles away from me in a city, whereas I come from a village. Um, he'd moved there long ago. But basically, I had a friend, he had the original Xbox. And it was through this original Xbox that we played through a couple of games. Because it was obviously the thing that appealed to me the most when I went there, because I had a GameCube at home, I had a PS2 at home. So the Xbox I didn't have at home, so hey, oh, and I had a Dreamcast at home. That's actually the one console, the first console I ever actually owned myself. In any case, he had an Xbox. We'd usually play some wrestling games because he enjoyed those sort of things. And the other game I got really attached to was Blinx the Time Sweeper. After that, though, I believe it was my brother's then girlfriend at the time. She had an Xbox, and she'd bring it round from time to time. And the game I ended up playing, the game we all ended up playing, probably most of all, was Fable, the very first Fable. I never really got too far in it. After all, we weren't sort of there permanently. It wasn't a permanent addition in our household to play that, but it was a very enjoyable experience. It had a very charming world, and although the main reason I was enjoying the Xbox in my brief moments was because of Blinx the Time Sweeper, Fable was the second reason. Blinx the Time Sweeper and Fable were the two brands that made me think about Microsoft and go, yeah, I should consider giving the Xbox a chance. And in turn, Rafi ended up getting an Xbox 360 for his birthday. A new Blinx game was never announced for it, so I couldn't buy one of those, and I had to wait a while for Fable 2. In the meantime, I enjoyed playing Cameo, Elements of Power, and Dead or Alive 4 on the Xbox 360, so... But then Fable 2 came out, and I really enjoyed that one. It's one of my favourite games on the 360, Xbox 360. And I'm one of the few people who consider Fable 2 better than the original Fable, even including the Fable Lost Chapters or even Fable Anniversary. I still consider Fable 2 the better of the two games, though I can see why some would argue for Fable 1. I think Fable 2, the introduction of sort of other characters fighting alongside you, such as, Reaver and Hammer, and I always forget the name of the mage. More, you get more choices, like the initial choice of being able to choose your gender, you got your dog companion with you. I just feel that Fable 2 was overall an improvement in the whole sort of being able to sort of choose your adventure, as it were, in a sense. Of course you had the moral choice system always, but now, you had more choice to make the character feel like yourself. Kind of feel Fable 3 went backwards in that regard by giving your character a voice, which was a problem I noted in Sunset Overdrive, and was actually one of my first tea times, where I noted about the Sunset Overdrive situation of having a create your own character start talking and giving them a voice. But in any case, I really enjoyed Fable 2. It was a really fun game. Fable 3 was a bit of a disappointment, not nearly as good in my opinion, but it had its moments. And really it was a okay game following up an amazing game. So it's more the expectation really that caused it to fall down. And then we get to the Xbox One. And I also played Fable Anniversary on the Xbox 360. A lot of people sort of pondered as to why Lionhead Studios kept on making these spin-off games, and feel that part of the reason for their cancellation is they weren't making the mainline games and people weren't being appealed to them. But I've not got too much in concern to sort of, fret about that with Lionhead Studios. As in, that wasn't something that annoyed me in any way. I was wanting a Fable 4 to eventually come out, but I wasn't minding that they were making spin-offs. They were expanding the universe, and as a studio, they probably wanted to make more than just the typical RPG. They didn't want to be stuck doing one genre for the rest of their life, I imagine. And I enjoyed seeing them get creative with their IPs, sort of thing. Furthermore, they did have a mainline Fable game, albeit a HD remake, released in 2014, Fable Anniversary. The only criticism I'd have for Fable Anniversary is that it should have been released on the Xbox One, if not exclusively, but as well as the Xbox 360. Fable Anniversary just seemed like a missed opportunity to have a mainline Fable game on the Xbox One, even if it is a remake, it can sort of pad out the time for when Fable 4 would eventually come about after making these spin-offs. I imagine Fable Legends was a case of the game taking a lot longer than they expected. But in regards to Fable Legends, Fable Legends is one of the 3 reasons I got an Xbox One. At E3 2013, it and Killer Instinct were the sort of games that had me somewhat interested. Killer Instinct, my interest has died down a bit due to learning that its control scheme is probably not my kind of control scheme in fighting games that I like to play. I play Dead or Alive and BlazBlue. They're a little bit more simple than in terms of the amount of buttons used and such than Killer Instinct. But my interest in Killer Instinct has led me to subscribing to Maximilian Dood and watching many of his fighting game videos, which I enjoy. I enjoy watching Killer Instinct, just not playing it, from the themes of it. But E3 2014, there ended up being 3 games that convinced me to get an Xbox One. Ori and the Blind Forest, Sunset Overdrive, and of course, Fable Legends. Sure, it wasn't a traditional Fable game, but I really liked what was being shown, and I like the Fable world and sort of charm it has to it, the setting and the lore and the the way the characters are presented, sort of thing. And Fable Legends had a lot of created characters, all very charming ones, which I was interested in, all unique and distinct, of which I was interested to get around to playing. Again, probably a more primary reason is that I felt that eventually we'd get a Fable 4 on the Xbox One, and I would probably prefer that over Fable Legends. But Fable Legends was a spin-off I was wanting to try out regardless, because I'm usually pretty okay with spin-offs. After all, I'm a fan of the Kirby series, and that has spin-off galore, and some of them can be absolutely amazing. But I better avoid not... I keep jumbling up all my words today, don't I? I better avoid going off topic there and start talking about Kirby. But Fable Legends had me excited. I was as early as the end of last year. I was picking out my mains. I was interested in trying out Leech because he had such a cool design. Even though gameplay-wise he probably wasn't my type of character. Tipple looked a lot of fun and was a rather simple sort of attack-based character that I could use. And I was really liking Evian. Evian. Her backstory was great. It could have been a game on its own, just her backstory. And she looked a lot of fun to play as. And I was getting really excited for these characters. I was so excited for the release of Fable Legends that although I didn't put it with my top most sort of anticipated games, that's because my most anticipated games was a list of 6. It was always like my 7th choice in these years I thought it was coming out. It was always at the back of my mind, sort of, I'm really looking forward to Fable Legends finally coming out, even if it's a different style of game. I'm curious about trying out this style of game, and I'm curious about seeing Fable before Fable 1, the world of it. And for my birthday, I got myself an Xbox One headphone with mic, a built-in mic. The reason was because I was going to use that when playing Fable Legends online. I got that headphone for that sole purpose. Also, the only other sort of motive I had was that I remember back when I was playing Sunset Overdrive that I wish I had a proper headphone and mic so that I could play online in Sunset Overdrive, because the couple times I did, I had a lot of fun, but I felt I needed to communicate with the people a bit more. It would have been more fun to. But that passed, and so I ended up getting it for the sole purpose of Fable Legends. And now that has also passed. I never got round to playing the closed beta. My Xbox One sort of hasn't got much data space left on it, and I figured that it might get taken up by the sort of closed beta. Never sure how all this data management works nowadays. It was so much simpler with memory cards or even cartridges when you didn't need to worry about the data. But now I'll never get to play Fable Legends, and that's really disheartening. I have no idea why Microsoft has cancelled Fable Legends or why they are considering closing down Lionhead Studios. I think they were great studios, sure. They haven't made a truly amazing game in a long while. Admittedly, Fable The Journey was stuck with being a Kinect game. For all I know, it could be a very good Kinect game, but it is limited by the fact that it's limited by the Kinect. Fable Heroes, from what I've seen Rafi play, is a fun sort of miniature sort of Xbox arcade title. It's not mind-blowing, but it looks a lot of fun, and I'll be willing to try it at some point. Probably more now than ever, given I kind of want to go a bit down memory lane with the Fable series, see what I missed. And sure, Fable 3 wasn't spectacular, but it was still decent. And people were reminded of how amazing Fable could be with the anniversary games, with the Fable 1's release as Fable Anniversary. And there was always hope that they'd make a Fable 4 at some point. And now there isn't that. Not really. I can't see them... I can't see Microsoft sticking with Lionhead Studios if they've gone so far as to cancel Fable Legends, a game that they'd been developing since summer of 2012. That's a long development time to suddenly just get rid of all that work over that long of a period. And it's rather disheartening seeing this happen. I am probably going to, after this tea time, sit down and play some Fable 2. I really enjoyed it, and yet I never actually completed the game. It was a time where I was being distracted by so many other games. There are so many games I haven't completed for the sole purpose that, well, so the sole reason that so many games kept coming out. But now I'm going to sit down and actually finish Fable 2. Then probably play through all of Fable Anniversary. Then maybe try out Fable Heroes, Fable 3, play through all that. Who knows? I probably won't do all of that at once. I'll probably do it over time. But for now, I definitely want to sit down and play through Fable 2. Sorry, Bravely Second, you're going to want a little bit of a break as I play some Fable 2. In any case, I'm going to try this tea now. Sorry that it's taken so long to just ramble on about my thoughts about the Fable series and how I'm disappointed that Fable Legends has been discontinued. It's a pretty long video just to share my thoughts on that, really. It wasn't even anything specific per se. It's just sad that one of the games I was really looking forward to on the Xbox One, one of the reasons I got an Xbox One, is no longer going to be. And due to never joining the closed beta, I'm never going to experience this game that I saw so many trailers of. Nor sort of get to truly find out about these characters that I was really getting invested with. In any case, this is my lemongrass and ginger tea. Without milk, let's give it a try. Quite nice. I might prefer it with milk, but it's actually... Wow. That's got a really nice afterkick. Not as nice sipping for the first, but the flavour kind of just builds up and dances about in your mouth. It's really nice. Well, on that happier note, feel free to share with me your thoughts on the Fable series. Were you looking forward to Fable Legends? Are you sad that Lionhead Studios has closed? Please, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this matter. For now, cheerio everyone.